All right, I want to talk about lifestyle management, time management, and becoming detail oriented, goal oriented, and actually getting your shit done and being successful in life. Okay, I'm an ex-military officer. I got a couple degrees in college. I was very successful in my academic studies and such, and further pursuits. And I've learned a lot, and I definitely want to impart that to you guys. And some of the stuff I've picked up from like Stephen Covey as well. But these are the things that to me have always made the biggest difference. Okay, so a couple of things. Most of you guys, you make up. There's absolutely no problem with setting big goals for yourself. Absolutely not at all. Okay, let's say you say, I want to publish a website and start putting content. I want to make a website, my own website, or I want to write a book or write a PDF, or I want to do this or that, or I want to join the, whatever, become an officer or have a, good paying job. And, you've heard about visualizations and image board, and then you put like Ferraris on your vision board and pictures of hot chicks and like exotic vacation destinations and lifestyles. And you're like, yeah, it's my vision board. And you're sort of getting close, but you're not doing anything actually applicable. Okay, you actually need to be able to set out and lay out an actual course plan and sort of like a curriculum and like a regimen for yourself so you actually complete these things. And so you've sort of taken a hack at it, but you're not quite there. And I want to explain how to take that and go farther with it. Okay, so 3 things. The first one is, I'll just lay out the 3 real fast. The first one is you need to take your big goals and break them down into smaller goals that lead up to that big goal. Okay. And then the second one is you need to visually represent to yourself at all times your tasks and jobs to do. And then thirdly, you need to manage your time correctly and create starting and end points to the tasks involved here. Okay. And I know that sounds a little bit like, oh great, this is the most boring fucking video ever. But when I tell you the specifics of how to do this, you can actually take your day tomorrow or starting right now and all of a sudden become way more proficient and efficient and competent in getting shit done. Okay, so I'm telling you, this is helpful stuff. So let's say, and this will help you guys in college as well. Okay, a lot of you guys in college, let me use college as an example for the first one. So you want to take your big goals and you want to break them down into smaller chunks. Okay, so what most people do in college is, let's say they've got a 12-page term paper to write as their final for their class. Okay, and most people, they make the mistake of not taking that big task of writing 12 pages and they don't break it down into smaller chunks. Okay, and you have to do that, because if you don't, you're actually not going to fully understand the job you have to do. Okay, so you need to take that 12-page paper and you need to break it down into the thesis, the introduction paragraph, the conclusion, and then the body paragraphs. And then you need to set and when you do that, you can actually start seeing the big task as smaller tasks that need to be completed. And the important thing here to realize is that you can't just open up a document software service or software on your computer and just start, okay, here's my 12-page paper. You can't do that. Your brain can't conceptualize that. It needs smaller tasks to get done. Okay, so by breaking it up, you can actually say to yourself, okay, here's the thesis. I'm going to work on my thesis right now, and you can actually take concrete, actionable steps towards that. Same thing with your first paragraph, your introduction paragraph. Your body paragraphs and your conclusion. I would suggest you write your conclusion at the end, obviously, but you can start working on it, whatever. Anyway, so my point, and same thing with writing an ebook or publishing a website. Okay, so as far as publishing a website, you've got to learn about hosting and domain registration, and so you got to look these things up, and you've got to look up how to install WordPress, or you got to look up how to learn to work with HTML and CSS. So these are all tasks that you need to realize are part of your greater goal. You need to start working on those, okay, and working on those in conjunction with each other, okay, which leads me to my second point here, which is visual representation of your tasks, okay. If you don't do this, you're going to get lost and fucked up in the sauce, okay. I always find that if I don't have a visual representation of my tasks to do, my productivity goes down by like 50% easy, okay. So I always tell my guys, get a whiteboard. get a whiteboard, hang it on your wall, write your tasks to do on that son of a bitch, and you'll actually get them done, okay? And I'll tell you what, it feels motherfucking good when you go up to your whiteboard and you just fucking wipe it clean, okay? Here's the thing, when you break up your tasks into smaller tasks, you can actually get those done. And you can actually take actionable steps towards your goals, and that makes you feel good and fulfilled, and it creates momentum inside you, and it creates the emotional and mental and physiological leverage to actually keep going on your tasks. Whereas if you make them too big, you really are only allowed to make small stabs at your big project. Whereas if you break it up in smaller chunks, you can knock those things out of the water and actually get them done and propel yourself even farther forward, because you've created momentum and proved and displayed to yourself that you can get shit done, okay? And so the visual representation, you can actually write them up there and then check them off, and it feels good. But more importantly than that, by putting a visual representation of them up on your whiteboard, you don't lose sight or focus, okay? It's monkey see, monkey do, out of sight, out of mind. If you're not seeing it, you're not doing it, because you're not thinking about it, so you've forgotten about it. That's how the human monkey animal is, okay? So that whiteboard with that visual representation keeps you on task, so you get your shit done, okay? I'm telling you, whiteboard, write your shit up there. You're walking by, you're like, oh, I got to do that. It helps. It's magnificent, okay? And the last point I want to say is always make sure that you plan your time, okay? Most people, they say things like, okay, I'm gonna work on my essay on Saturday, and then Saturday rolls around and they've got the whole day and 12 pages to write, and because of this, your brain goes, oh my fucking god, and it goes into survival mode. This is the thing. You guys have to understand that if you don't break up your big tasks into smaller tasks that are actionable, that you can actually allot a set amount of time to, your brain will look at the whole thing and be like, oh my god, that's so much fucking work, I better start conserving my energy now. And you start going into a more depressed, more lethargic mode, and it's a survival thing. So when you break your shit up into smaller tasks, and then assign a start and stop time, like let's say, okay, I'm going to take 30 minutes to write my thesis statement, and then I'm going to take the next 5 to 10 minutes to make myself a fucking sandwich, okay? And your brain goes, oh, okay, I only have to do this for half an hour, so I'm going to fully commit to it, fully invest all my mental and emotional expenditures, and get this done to the best of my ability. This is how you sort of not trick your brain, but how you work with your brain correctly and effectively to actually hit that goal and hit that task and that chore with full abandon, with all of your momentum and drive and technical attention and focus, okay? So anyway, hope you learned something. If you didn't, too fucking bad. No, I'm kidding. All right, good luck.